Hello guys, and I welcome you to this tutorial of mine, which is in fact the fifth tutorial of a tutorial series on PHP basics, how to create a CRUD system in PHP, meaning the CRUD means create, read, update and delete, and this part will be the part in which we update the current records which are stored in our database here, all these records. Now, before I begin, I want to apologize to you guys for delaying this tutorial for so long, but I will not waste any time and I will strictly go ahead and uh, show you how to do that part. Now, if you remember, or if you uh, seen my tutorials, we left here when we could delete the records by clicking the delete button here, but now I've added this functionality as some of you requested. This is a confirmation box in JavaScript which prompts a OK or cancel button here to request to the user if they are sure or if they clicked the right record here to be deleted. Now I'll quickly show you that, but it's just a quick review of this code here. You will have this code after this tutorial is finished, the whole code here, including this JavaScript function here. Basically what we have done here is we created a function, confirm delete. I called it just a generic name with a message argument here, variable, and a URL, and we display a confirmation box with a message that we want to display inside here. And if the confirmation box is equals true, meaning that if the user pressed OK, then we're gonna redirect our window location here to the URL specified here in the second variable. Otherwise, if the user clicks cancel, it's gonna return false, meaning that no action is gonna be performed here. And that is right here, the function, which I call the function on click. Then I write here for message, are you sure you want to delete the record here? And as the record here, I've passed the ID of the records here of the row. This operation cannot be undone, and then as URL I passed the same name, the same URL here in which we are, data-display.php, and the record ID here as before, as the previous version. We pass this variable ID, and as value of this variable we pass the ID here, just the same as the part here when we say which record we want to delete. The rest of the code here is the same. Now we are able to add a new record, but we are not able to edit the current records here. Let's say, for example, we want to change the name Bill here from Bill to William. If I click here, we don't see anything. Here we just have a hashtag here, since this is a dummy link. We're gonna fix that. I'm gonna go ahead here and link to a page which I will call form edit display.php, and I'm going to pass a variable the same as we did here when we deleted the records in the delete record here. Let's say ID is equal to, and I'm going to copy this PHP code here, right here. I'm going to save. I'm going to go ahead here and reload. Now let's see what's happened. If you see now at the bottom of the browser, you can see now that a URL link appears, which means that if we click this link here, we're gonna go and transfer this page to that URL. Let's go ahead and click. Nothing seems to happen because we haven't created yet this page here. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and open up our form display, and our form display is basically the same with this form here that we are gonna create. We'll have the same fields here, same boxes and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and save as here, and as name I'm gonna pass the name, whoops, what's going on, okay, form edit display .php, alright, okay, let me zoom here so you can see, okay, bit better, or is it too much? Okay, this is okay. Now we'll go ahead and reload here. Okay, now we can see this form. We need to change some things here, like this create new form. I'm gonna say here, instead of add new record, edit record, create edit record form. These other fields will be the same. We need to change the name of the submit here. However, let me create a more familiar look for you here. Okay, go ahead and say here edit and edit record. Okay, now for the next part is that we don't want to display this form unless there is an ID specified here after the edit display.php form here. But now what's going on is if I delete this by hand here and go ahead and click, we are still able to see this form, which is not necessary and not very nice to display a blank form to our visitor or to our user client. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. I'm gonna comment out this part of the code here. I'm gonna say here if is set, so if is not set, get ID, so the variable ID from the URL here is not set. We're gonna go ahead and present the user with a, let's say, 404 error page, and with a message inside which we wanna signal them that they are not allowed to view this page or the record's not found. I'm gonna go ahead and say include 404.php. Then we're gonna die the code right here in case this code here fails to execute. This one won't. So let's go ahead and create that code, that other file, sorry, copy here, file, save as, paste, delete the extension. Now we don't need the DB here, we don't need any PHP code here, so I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna say the title 404 error, and then I'm gonna say here what we don't need. We don't need this form here. Okay, we need the separators. Okay, then I'm gonna say h2 404. This is a very generic message here with some glorious CSS, but it does the job. Now let's go ahead and reload. Okay, 404. So if we return to the main page, we click edit, we see the form. Since we have this ID here defined, if we undefine this ID here, page not found. This looks okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add another functionality to the edit display. So we say if is set, if this isn't set, or get id equals let's say null or is empty, we're gonna include the same here. So let's say okay, and let's say id something, let's say someone here takes off the value after the id, and we don't want to show here, don't want to break the code, the query here, because this value is missing here. But if the id is 1, let's say, or a number, we display the form. Right now this form doesn't do anything, it's just a form, but we are on good way to do that now, since we have created this code which is working fine. Now we're gonna grab this id here, requested id, I'm gonna say equals to MySQL escape string get id. Now we have this id here, we grab this id value. Now the only thing which will differ in this form from the add form is we're gonna go ahead and add here a hidden field. I'm gonna say put hidden name SQL ID value is equal, for now I'm gonna leave it blank. This will take the value of the ID here, but is not necessary to be shown here on the page. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and query out our database in base of this ID here. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and go to display. I am gonna copy these two lines of code here, copy, I'm gonna paste those two lines right here. Now if you see here, we select all the fields from the people table here, order by ID, descending here, descending order. We don't need this part. We will say select everything from people where ID is equal to requested ID here. Okay, so now we don't want all the records, but we want to select only the row which the ID matches this request here. Then just for caution, we're gonna go ahead and limit the record by 1. We want just one record here. Of course this will always select 1 because the ID is unique, but just in case. Okay, now gonna go ahead and fetch the data from the query, and I'm gonna say edit rows is equal to SQL fetch sock query, and I believe we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead here and print readable what we have inside. There is gonna be an ugly thing, but print r edit rows. Okay, save. Let's go ahead here and reload. We're not getting anything here, probably because this ID 1 doesn't exist. Return to the main page. Let's try with a real record here. ID is equal to 7 here, if you can see at the bottom. Edit. Okay, now we have the ID here 7, first name Bill, last name Clinton, age 60. So we are getting the data here. But as you saw before, here You see? 1, nothing. 7, enter. You see the records. So we need a way here to prevent the user from inputting the data here by themselves and find out that they don't have anything here and freak out. We don't want to do that. So let's see here. We will say, for example, we'll try out one method here. If empty, save, edit rows. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing as we did here with the if we set the ID, paste. So if we don't have any records here, paste. So this array here is empty. We don't want to execute the code down here anymore. We will exit the script and we'll present with the same page 404 here, our viewer. So reload. Okay. So now we are okay. Let's make it 7 now. Okay. Let's leave it empty. Okay. So empty, nothing. Wrong ID, nothing. Right ID, we are good. We are good here. As you can see, we can see all this data here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and comment out this part here, and I'm gonna populate this form with the data. Now here I'm gonna get rid of the or let's leave the placeholder where it is. I'm gonna go ahead and add the value attribute here to our name. Value is equal to echo edit rows first name. Okay, I'm gonna copy this here. Oops. Copy. The same here. Value is equal to last name. Last name. The age here, value is equal to age. Let's save. Let's see what we have done so far. Oops, it's not showing what I forgot. Okay, I forgot to echo out the values here. Echo here and echo here. Let's see here if we are able to see the real records here. Okay, now we're good to go. So we have the age, the bill, and the last name, and Bill here, the first name. It is Bill Clinton. Okay. Oops. So the other value that we need here is the ID here. You see the hidden here. There's an input type hidden, which I created before. I'm gonna go ahead and paste here and say ID. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and add to the action here another variable, and I will say ID echo requested ID. Okay, this is good. So edit records. Now we've pressed the edit record. We are still presented with the same page, meaning that the request was made. If I go ahead and reload here, you can see that we are presented with this confirmation box, meaning that the data was sent once. However, we're gonna go ahead and cancel here. Now what we are gonna do is we're gonna grab this data back and modify them and then insert into the database. I'm gonna go ahead here and say if, or actually I'm gonna recycle the code here. Why not? if is set edit. Okay, set edit, paste. We're gonna use the same code as in the add form, but I'm gonna also add here an ID is equal to MySQL real escape string post ID, which looks great here. And this SQL will change. I'm gonna say here update people set first name is equal to first name, last name is equal to last name, age is equal to age. Now this part is where, so we're gonna change the values of first name, last name and age according to what we posted from the form, and the condition where we want to change these values is where ID is equal to ID. Okay, I hope it makes sense to you guys. So we grab the values from the form, and then we grabbed this ID here, which was from the hidden field, which actually exists but is not displayed on our page. Here is hidden, and we said here, we told to the code that we wanted to update the record to set the values of first name, last name and age to replace actually those values with the new values here, and the condition is where ID is equal to this ID here. Now let's say that what we have done here is okay. We're gonna go ahead and redirect the page. We're gonna say here form to the same page, edit display.php where ID is equal to the ID here. I'm gonna present a success message here. Okay, success. I'm gonna go ahead here 7. Let me rename Bill Clinton here, William. Oops, include form edit display PHP. Oh, this should not be an include here, my bad, sorry. I bet you are screaming at me for this. Header, it's gonna be a redirect location here. Okay, let's see, is this correct or not? Reload, resend. What's going on here? Okay, echo, always this echo part, I'm missing this echo part here. Okay, the value was not being output here. Okay, reload. Okay, edit William. Okay, now we have seen this variable success here. What we will do with that success is we're gonna present a success message here, and I'm gonna say here PHP if is set get success, no matter what value it has, I don't care, it's enough that is said. You're gonna go ahead and echo out a age 3 and say here the record was successfully give a little styling to this. Color, let's say green for universal green light. Okay, here, hit record, reload. Okay, now return to the main page. Let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, delete this. Okay, delete this. Okay, add new person. Last name 50. Add new. Return to the main page. Edit. New person. This new person is Paul Newman. 80 years old. 80 years old. Edit record. The record was updated successfully. So we are doing it. Very good. Return to the main page. And I believe that this is it for this part. And I want to recommend you something which I didn't do in the previous parts of this tutorial. Please don't use this code for production as is. Try to fix the variables, the post and get variables here to sanitize the post. Never ever trust the user input here. Always check for any cross-site scripting techniques that they might use to inject into your database and to ruin your code, to steal information or other attacks. This is just for demonstration purpose. It's not to use as is, so please do that. This is just for educational purposes. This is it for this tutorial. I hope this tutorial helps you in your way of becoming a programmer or in your development. Peace to you guys.